Hello, my name is Jameson Botziger, and I am here to explain my digital forensics investigation into the Nest Labs Nest digital thermostat for your home. So first off, I noticed that there was a mini USB connection on the back of the Nest thermostat. So I used that to connect it to the USB drive on my computer. And I think it's very important to mention that you must have a mini USB cable that is capable of data transfer. I tried like three different cables before, and none of them were capable of data transfer, and the Nest would not show up here unless you have a data capable cable. So be aware of that. And the only information we have here is the technical info, which just looks like uh, HTML or something along those lines. And it just gives you some basic information. So nothing too crazy here as far as forensics goes. So my next thought was to go into device manager and see if I could see it connected to the USB bus controllers here. And I didn't see anything that really matched up to the Nest serial bus devices, nothing here either. I didn't see anything too crazy. And so my next thought was to try and find it using WSL or Windows Subsystem for Linux. So I went into the PowerShell, run as administrator, and I had to download this library called USB IPD. And what this does is it allows you to share USB drives that are connected to your Windows system and allow Windows subsystem for Linux to be able to access those. So I use USB PD list, and I noticed that this mass storage device here was not listed when I did not have the Nest connected, but it was listed when the device was connected. So I figured this was probably the Nest device here. As you can see, it's shared now as I've already shared it with the Windows subsystem for Linux, but I'll go through the process of what I did. So first, you're going to start by USB PD list, or no, I already did that. You're going to do bind and then bus ID. And we see that the bus ID for the mass storage device is 2-1. So we're going to put 2-1. Already shared. Yep, I've already done this. So a lot of this stuff is already going to say it's already been done. Next step, you're going to go into WSO. Take a second for this to load up. And we're going to do LS USB to see connected devices. And theoretically, since this is being shared, it should show up here. Second. There we go. Unfortunately, it's not showing up, and we just have the basic Linux USB, and the Nest does not show up here. So unfortunately, that route did not work. But I did notice that Nest is here as part of a E drive. So if it's being noticed by Windows, we can probably convert it over to the Windows subsystem for Linux. So go down to the root, and we're going to go to the mount. And we are going to see that we already have the E here, but originally it did not auto mount this. So what I had to do is I had to try and mount it using some different sudo commands. The first one being we're going to create a mount point. I'm going to create a mount point on mount for E. That's what we did first. File already exists. This wasn't here before, though. You're going to have to manually mount everything. And then to mount it, my code was sudo mount t. And what this does is it manually mounts the E to the new directory that we just created here, E. So now we can do ls again, and we see that it's here. Um, the next step was to try and do a bitwise data stream. So we use sudo we're basically creating an image file here, and I'm putting it on my PC, the desktop. Create image file. And unfortunately, this does not work because we're trying to data stream a whole directory. And unfortunately, I couldn't do anything else as far as WSL goes. But I did notice that um, the Windows files were noticing it as an E drive. So my next thought process was to create an image file for it. So to create an image file for this, we're going to go to create disk image, physical drive to start out because it's a E drive. We're going to choose this one because it's the physical drive 2. Physical drive 0 is C, physical drive 1 is my D file, and physical drive 2 is going to be the E file for the nest. And we finish. We can add a destination. This is basically the same thing as what I was trying to do in WSL. And I basically just created an image file that went here, nest image file. From there, I used autopsy. We're going to add a data source for it. We have the disk and image file now. So we click next, go to desktop, choose the data source, nest image. And now everything's going to be processed. Okay, so we can see that we have the image file here for the E drive, the nest. But unfortunately, there's not really much going on here as far as what we can see above and beyond what was already in this file here. Um, yeah, text available. Unfortunately, the only information that we can get is some settings, volume guide, and then yeah. So unfortunately, we don't really have much information here. There's nothing that the Nest is giving out. Um, there isn't really much as far as resources for us here, as far as the digital forensics goes. Yeah, and then we just have this same technical info that we found inside of the file here. There's no deleted files. Fortunately, there's not much else that we can do. And this is as far as my digital forensics on this went. I think that Nest has done a fantastic job of security with this device, as I performed quite a lot of actions to try and get info from it. But unfortunately, I wasn't really able to get much. They did a really good job. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a great day.